All right, I'm here with Larry Sharpe at the Libertarian National Convention. He's on the floor over here. A lot of stuff's going on, Larry.
It is.
A lot of people coming up. They're asking for your advice. They're talking. You were part of the vice presidential debate. So many great things about this weekend. It's been a fun time,
It has.
an educational time. Now, can you educate my audience on this whole process of picking a candidate for president?
Yes,
because
how this
I have
works.
said really quickly,
Yeah,
just I want you to piggyback
Yep.
on this because I want you to make sure. I said to Angela the other day, you are now the third party. You guys have established that. The Libertarians are here. So many ex-Democrats, so many ex-Republicans.
Yep.
Is this a missed opportunity, the fact that you're not going to have a strong, well-known presidential candidate coming out of this convention? Go ahead, Larry.
Yes and no, right? Of course popularity matters. Of course it does. All right? It's a popularity contest. But the most important piece, we want to make sure we have someone who actually is libertarian so that when we get out there and people see us, they don't see us as somebody who is not us. If we are not distinct, people will go back to Democrats, Republicans. You've got to be distinct. You see why third parties fail all the time. We are ideologues, no question. Most third parties, Greens are ideologues, right? Most of the third parties who are around are ideologues. We care about our ideology. It's important. If we only cared about winning, we'd be Republicans, Democrats.
Yeah.
If we only cared about power, we'd be Republicans, Democrats. We care about moving the country towards our views because we know we are right. So yes, we want a combination. We want a unicorn. We want a popular guy who speaks well, who is, principled. We want all the things. What do? We find the closest to that we possibly can get. And we try to grow from there. That's why we go through this. That's why we have all this back and forth. That's why we have this process to try to find that unicorn.
All right, what about the ballot access? Because you've been mentioning that we could lose the Libertarians
Yep.
could lose ballot access. Can you give us a
100%.
little insight to how
Yep.
that could look in this whole?
Yep.
Because right now, Cornel West and Jill Stein are polling higher than any Libertarian candidate that's
Depends
coming
on
out
the
of
poll. No.
Yeah.
Sometimes, depending on the poll in a state, sometimes Lars Mapstead, who's been in about 15 polls so far, sometimes he will poll above them or in between them.
Yes.
Depends on the poll. Generally speaking, Cornel West is polling lower than Jill Stein. Not every poll, but depending on the poll, he tends to be 1 or 2 points below her. And Lars Mapstead is either in between, sometimes above both, and sometimes underneath. It all depends upon the poll.
So
we
Lars
can
is
throw
who you're kind of looking at to keep that ballot access.
Lars is the guy who can do it. Lars Mapstead is the guy who can do it, and the reason is, to your question, many states, I think, is it 20 or 25? It's in that area, require a statewide race for a candidate to get at least 1% or sometimes 2%, depending upon the state. New York State has 2% or 130,000 votes, whichever is higher. If they achieve that, then they retain access to the ballot. If they don't, it's gone. If our presidential candidate, which is a statewide race, if that candidate does not get 1%, a lot of those states will lose ballot access.
So you think is there anybody else on that stage? I know a lot of people talk about Adam Smith,
Nope.
Matt Turr, right?
You mean Mike Termott or Josh Smith?
Mike Termott, Josh Smith. I'm so sorry. Yes.
No. I know my people.
Yeah.
So I'm being good. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
You don't think they have a shot to maintain that 2% across the board and keep that ballot access?
I think they're going to struggle because we have, as you just mentioned, we got RFK Jr. in the race. We got Jill Stein in the race, who's funded now. In 2016, she wasn't very much funded. She's funded now. And we also have Cornel West in the race. You have 3 independents. Generally speaking, when Libertarians are the only other choice in the map, we get all the, go to hell votes, right?
Yes.
We get all of those. But when you have other options, we're not going to get all of those.
Okay.
So we have to fight harder. So it's going to be very challenging. The advantage that Lars has is he has a good plan. He's got cash. He's got a good team. And he's retired. He's independently wealthy. He's retired. He's a full-time candidate that can just go out here and knock it all down. And literally his family's here.
Yeah.
So his wife and kids are behind him. So I think that's a good chance.
What about the whole idea of nominating RFK for the Libertarian
Did you hear
ticket?
the booze?
I did hear it, but wouldn't he
Yes.
help? Would he help obtain or keep that ballot
100%.
access?
Let's be very forward. Bobby Kennedy is very popular. So would he help us achieve it? Yes. But my point is then, would the world look at our party as Bobby Kennedy's party or the Libertarian Party? That's the problem that we have to worry about, right?
Yeah.
If he's truly a Libertarian, which I think you see most of the crowd disagrees with that, then they would happily have taken him.
Yeah.
Happily. The crowd does not believe it to be true. But to be fair, a lot of Libertarians do like Bobby Kennedy. A lot of people like Bobby Kennedy. He's a very popular president candidate. People like him. He will do well no matter what. He could win.
Yeah.
Right? He has a real chance of what Lars talks about, which is breaking 270.
Yes.
That happens, Kennedy could be the compromise candidate and actually could become president. It's possible.
but his stance on Israel-Palestine, maybe for some of the libertarians, his stance on
Jill
guns.
Stein is getting so much money.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yes, it's the reason why Jill Stein's getting so much money.
Yeah.
100% true.
Larry, I love talking to you. Not only are you a good libertarian, you're a mensch, and I can't wait to have another conversation on your show, my show. Have a great time at the convention.
Have a good one.
Thank you.